So you just got a Go-Kart Alley vintage go-kart kit. You want to know what's in it? Well, let's take a look.
Alright, so the Go-Kart Alley kit comes in this ginormous cardboard box that would put most refrigerator boxes to shame. You could save this thing, build a fort out of it, recycle it, whatever. Let's get to the inside. And there is the Go-Kart Alley kit. The first thing you'll find is this book, Go-Kart Alley, written by yours truly and autographed by yours truly. This is the book that started everything. This is loosely based on my childhood or the experiences I would have liked to have with my go-kart when I was a kid. So the first thing you see is the Go-Kart Alley book. Comes with every kit, and there's also a packing list for all the parts that are inside here. Put that aside. And it comes with a whole bunch of really awesome stickers from Go Power Sports for you to put on your go-kart, your toolbox, your helmet, wherever stickers are stuck. So that's really cool of them to include those in there. Put those aside. I'm over here by Bandit. Now then, every kit has a Predator 212 engine, comes standard. You can also get the 212 Tillotson. There's a number of other engine options, but this is the standard kit, and this is a great engine. Has more power than any go-kart that I had growing up, just stock. And then there's a number of bolt-on options if this isn't enough power for you. But these are great, just bulletproof little engines. Let's get that out. Back here is your hardware box. We'll open that up in a second. That has all the little bits you're gonna need to put the kit together. And the seat, because you know you don't want to be dragging your butt across the concrete. Seat's very important. Up here. And we got 6-inch slick tires for the rear live axle and 5-inch slick tires for the front. I know what you're thinking, I didn't want slick tires. Well, order it with knobbies. The knobby tire option has 6-inch for the front bearing wheels. Now these are already mounted by Go Power Sports. They mount them up. These are tubeless tires, and it saves you a great deal of work by having those already mounted up, because it's kind of hard if you've ever done it yourself. Not sure if this is the recommended course of action.
Sure as heck did scratch up the rims for our wheels, so didn't it?
Now if you want to paint these, you're going to have to mask off all of the tires to paint them. You could break the bead, paint them, put them back together. That's also a lot of work. I suppose you could always put in there noted that you want them non-mounted. Paint them before you put them together, and then you can have them mounted at your local lawnmower shop or tire shop that will work on tires this small. But bearing wheels for the front and knobby 6-inch live axle wheels for the rear. Put those up here. And then there is a 40-inch, 1-inch diameter live axle. The nuts and washers on there also. And last but not least, we have the 11-gauge steel tubing, CNC bent, precision jig welded, fully welded Go-Kart Alley vintage go-kart frame. This is your blank canvas for you to paint and build your dream go-kart on. It has disc brake mounts here, bearing hangers, lots of adjustment for the motor mount here, cable stops, seat mounts, 6-hole steering wheel pattern, so you can put a variation of steering wheels, so you can put them upside down, right side up, however you want them. Cable stops, spindle mounts, holes in here for the pedals. And this is where we start from. All right, let's take a look and see what's in your hardware kit. I'm not going to unbox this Predator engine because I'm not going to be building with this one right now, but I will cut to footage of when we unboxed one out at Paid Swap Meet. Save all those, I'll go out with it.
Alright. But there are a lot more people walking about today. Oh man.
Okay. Let's open up the hardware box. Okay, inside the hardware box we have 2 tie rods, left and right hand side tie rods. Have the brake cable, the throttle cable. Brake cable is this big beefy one. We don't want that stretching or breaking when you need to stop. Throttle cable's a little lighter duty, a little bit more responsive. There's the cables. That's the steering wheel center cap. Steering and seat mount package. So there should be 7 bolts in here, 3 for the steering wheel, 4 for the seat with nuts. Those nuts are for the steering wheel. Cable mounts. This is for attaching your cable to the pedals and your cable to the brake caliper in the back. We have the 420 chain, all ready to correct length. Have the steering mount. These fine thread with lock nuts and lock washers. This is for mounting the tie rods on and making sure they don't come out, because you do not want to lose steering while you're driving. The kill switch. These are for mounting the pedals. These are shoulder bolts. They go through the frame, through the front porch here, and they thread. Actually, this threads into the pedals, and the jam nut goes on the outside to make sure they don't come off. So that's the pedal mounts. Here we have, these are the hanger mounts. This is for mounting your 1-inch live axle bearings in the bearing hangers for running the shaft through. There should be 6 of those with lock nuts on those. This is the engine mount kit with clutch. So these 5/16 bolts mount the engine to the engine mounts. This fine thread bolt with big washer here is for holding on the centrifugal clutch into the engine shaft. We have, these are all your locking collars and shaft keys for the live axle. These will go on either side of your, they'll go on either side of your disc brake rotor, go on either side of your driven sprocket, and then they go outside your rear wheels to keep them, to hold those where they're supposed to be. And lots of 1/4-inch shaft keys, unplated, so they fit in the keyways better. These are your spindle mounts. These 2 long ones here are your kingpin bolts, and these lock nuts here lock those on. These are your Springer springs that give that little bit of suspension in the front that makes the frame kind of stand out from a lot of other ones. These bolts, these nuts here, are for going onto your spindles, holding your front wheels on, and these spacers hold the front wheels out a little bit to give your tie rods clearance. There is a steering wheel. This is the disc brake rotor. Got these in here to let all that heat build up out and give you a little bit more friction in there, and it looks cool. We have left and right pedals. This will be your brake, this will be your throttle. See, this hole in here is threaded for those shoulder bolts to go into, and you have 3 options here for your responsiveness on your cable. Here we have the disc brake caliper. Now this is all tightened all the way up to make sure that none of these loose parts will fall out in here. We'll go over that in assembly, how to loosen this up, get it on, how to adjust your brakes out. We got good stopping feel there. Left and right spindles. Let's see. Left and right spindles, or right and left spindles, depending on your tire and wheel option and what rake you want on the front end. They flip-flop like so. And we have the live axle, the 1-inch bearings for the live axle, and these are the bearing mounts that go around the bearing and then go onto the hangers. We have the 60 tooth driven sprocket for the 420 chain. This goes on your live axle. And for the standard kit, not for the off-road with torque converter, is the 3/4 inch shaft centrifugal clutch with 420 series chain on there. Inside is the key, the smaller key, 3/16 I believe, for the 3/4 inch shaft on the Predator engine or Tillotson. So that is what is in the hardware box. Oh, pedal return springs. Gonna need those to return your pedals. Pedal return springs. That's it. That's everything in the box. So that's what's inside your Go-Kart Alley Vintage Go-Kart kit. I'm Dennis Van Vliet, and I'll see you in the next video where we will decide not what color to paint, but what method to paint your vintage Go-Kart kit. See you then.